Take two, self-awareness. Connected to Bluetooth. Technologically not very savvy, working on it. So the conversation about self-awareness, I run into a lot of people that aren't really aware of where they stand versus where they want to go. So it's always important to have a goal. We establish that. If you don't have a goal, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't have a specific direction, dude, what are you doing? Like literally, what are you doing? Life isn't random. Study success, study greatness. It's rare that people get somewhere without really planning out and mapping out the destination. It's got to be deliberate. It's got to be intentional. World-class people, world-class performers, if you study that, you find out that on average they've spent a minimum of 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to get to the top, which means 5 hours a day, 6 days a week for 10 years. Dude, and deliberate practice means you're attacking your weaknesses, which means you're starting to hone in on self-awareness, and that's a tough thing. That's a really tough thing. So the point is that once you define your goal, you've got to define your challenges, constraints, like where are you at? What things are holding you back? Human nature's tendency is to want to go work on the things we're good at. So if you're good in the weight room, most guys want to go get in the weight room. If you're good at mobility, most guys want to keep focusing on their mobility. The guy who's great in the weight room, to find his ideal athleticism in that middle of the spectrum, has got to spend more time on mobility and some plyometric work to develop his overall athleticism to become the best athlete he's going to become. So self-awareness, look, most people just go out and practice, and you know, Ron always said it at the ranch, it was like, hey, there's a difference between going down and banging on the piano versus playing the piano. You can go down and bang on the piano for a year, which is the equivalent to going out and just playing grab-ass catch, throwing the ball around like most high school kids are doing every day, or going to the cage and just hitting it around, no objective feedback, no nothing. They walk out of practice and go, hey, how was it? Yeah, it was good. Hey, it was good. Dude, there's no feedback. So if you have no awareness from day to day on practice in terms of measurables, as far as whether you're improving or whether you're not, like, how do you know if you're getting better? And my challenge is that a lot of people are like, oh, well, I just know. Well, no, you don't. You don't. Perfect example is yesterday, high school guy, great kid, first lesson, 16 years old. So his benchmark, he wants to play college second base. So he's got to be focusing on getting above 85 for his throwing arm, for sure. He's a sophomore, 16. I don't know if I said that already or not. He's got to focus on getting his 60-yard dash to about 6.8, and then he wants to play Division I, mind you. And then exit speed off the tee has got to be above 90, because those are the three controllables for him that we can easily measure. So I asked him, hey, where do you think you're at, dude? Self-awareness. Here comes self-awareness. On the radar gun, where do you think you're at? Where will you be happy with? Oh, I'll be happy with 80. Now keep in mind, to be trending a professional at 16 plus, you got to be throwing 90. So he's like, oh, I'd be happy with 80. You know, he's had a little arm pain in his elbow, but I'd be disappointed with like 74. 60. He was 65 to 67. You know, kid looked like he looked upset. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I was upset the first time I got on a radar gun and found out how bad it was, but you got to know, honest feedback is what you've got to have, or else you're never going to be able to progress. And so lack of self-awareness typically leads to, you get honest feedback and you get very emotional about it. Dude, it's not emotional. It's where you're at. And if you don't know where you're at or what your starting point is, you're never going to get where you're going. So challenge yourself that whatever realm you're trying to develop in your life, find a way to measure it. Get some honest feedback, and then be able to benchmark it and compare it to whoever it is that's at the top of whatever you're doing. And then put a plan in place to deliberately attack your constraints, what's keeping you from where you're at to where you want to go. And you've got to hammer at that every single day if you want to be great. If you just want to be average, just keep going out and doing what you're doing, live an average life, and go get it. But if you want to be great, everybody's like, oh man, yeah, I want to play Division I, I want to play pro. Great. And then it comes down to work, and it comes time to attack their constraints and be deliberate and plan and measure and self-assess. Dude, it's a hard process, but it's not for everybody, and that's why the people that do it, they get paid. So figure out if you want to be great, and if you do, find out where you're at, be self-aware, and attack your weaknesses. Go get them, baby. Happy Thursday.